Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a tiny cottage at the edge of a dark and scary forest. Every night, she would sit by her window and watch the moon turn the forest into a shimmering sea of silver. She longed to explore the magical place, but her parents had warned her to never, ever go into the woods at night. They said that if she did, she'd never be seen again. One night, though, the little girl couldn't take it anymore. As soon as the moon reached its highest point in the sky, she slipped out of her window and ran into the forest. The trees were just as her parents had warned, gnarled and spooky. But the little girl wasn't scared, not when she saw the most peculiar sight under the silver moonlight, a table stretched out endlessly through the dark trees. On it sat an assortment of magical creatures. A wise old owl with twinkling eyes, a rabbit wearing a monocle and a fox in a fancy top hat. All of them were having a wonderful time sipping tea and chatting away. The little girl had never been so happy to see anything in her whole life. May I join you?" she asked timidly. The creatures stopped their chatter and stared at the little girl. For a moment, the only sound was the rustling of leaves. Then the owl hooted softly. "Of course you can join us. We were expecting you." The little girl beamed and sat down at the table. Just then, a teapot began floating towards her. Startled, she jumped back as it hovered in front of her. With a gentle nudge from the owl, she understood that she was supposed to pour the tea. And what a tea it was! Instead of hot water, it poured starlight, and instead of tea leaves, it sprinkled her with glittering sand that tasted like sweet dreams. As the little girl sipped the magical tea, the creatures began to tell her wondrous stories about faraway lands. The rabbit spoke of fields made of candy floss and lollipop flowers that tasted like caramel. The fox told tales of talking animals and mischievous fairies. And the owl shared secrets of the forest that only magical beings knew. The little girl listened with wide eyes, feeling more wonder and excitement than she'd ever known. When the tea party was over, the creatures presented the little girl with 3 gifts. The rabbit gave her a glowing seashell that would light up her darkest days. The fox presented her with a whistle that could call upon friendly woodland creatures, and the owl gifted her with a book filled with forest lore and magic. The little girl thanked them, her heart brimming with happiness. It was time to return home. The creatures walked her to the edge of the clearing, and as they said their goodbyes, the little girl promised to keep their friendship alive. Every night, she would slip out of her window and meet the magical beings for tea and laughter under the silver moonlight. And so her life became a beautiful blend of magic and reality, all because she dared to venture into the mysterious forest. One day, a few weeks after her first visit to the magical tea party, the little girl came running into the forest, her face pale and tearful. The creatures were deeply concerned. "What's wrong, little one?" asked the owl. The girl sniffed and said, "I don't want to live in this dull little cottage anymore. I want to live here with you in the forest." The creatures looked at each other. It would be wonderful to have the little girl live with them, but how could they possibly hide her from the humans? secret. And what would happen if the girl's parents came looking for her? Just then, the wise old owl spoke up. "We can't keep you a secret forever, little one, but we can help you become a magical being yourself. If you truly wish to live here, you must choose one of our gifts to enhance your powers. Then no one will suspect a thing." The little girl thought for a moment. "I want to use my imagination to bring joy to others." The creatures nodded, understanding. Each presented her with a portion of their power: the rabbit, the fox, and the owl. From that day on, the little girl roamed the forest with the creatures, sharing laughter and magic with everyone she met. No one in the human world ever knew that she'd left, and the little girl never forgot the wonder and excitement she experienced under the silver moonlight.